Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Roberta Pasquinucci, and I will be moderating today's presentation from A22 Sports. We have exciting things to discuss following the landmark ruling of the European Court of Justice this morning. I am pleased to be joined by Bernd Reichert, CEO of A22. He will spend the next 20 to 30 minutes or so explaining their new proposal for changing European football. At the conclusion of his remarks, we will take questions from journalists. But first, let me do a quick presentation. A22 Sports is a company that was formed to assist in the development and introduction of the European Super League. Bernd was appointed CEO of the company in late 2022. Prior to that time, he was CEO of RTL Deutschland. Bernd, hi. Can you explain why today is a special day?
Thank you, Roberta, and welcome everyone. Indeed, there is big news today, and that news is that football is free. Free from the monopoly of UEFA, free to pursue the best ideas without fear of sanctions, and under our proposal, free viewing of all live matches. But more on that later. Let's start with the ruling. This morning, the European Court of Justice ended UEFA's near 70-year monopoly by determining that FIFA and UEFA's rules on prior approval of interclub competitions are contrary to European Union law. They have also determined that FIFA and UEFA rules making any new interclub project subject to their prior approval and prohibiting clubs and players from those playing those competitions, that they are also unlawful. The court has effectively opened the door to innovation in football, and clubs can now openly discuss and consider proposals to address the sport's most pressing issues. The ECJ is the highest court in the European Union, and therefore this ruling cannot be appealed. And it paves the way for the creation of a new, more exciting competition at European level in which clubs can determine their own future, all within the existing European football family. So again, the strongest message today goes out to the fans. Football is free.
Well, thank you, Bernd. So, with the judgment now in hand, what can you tell us about A22 proposals for new cross-border competition in Europe?
Well, I think the first thing to understand is that the new proposal is the result of an extensive dialogue over the past 18 months with many people involved in football. This includes clubs, players, fans, leagues, media executives, and government officials. In other words, a really big group. And while there is clearly more to do, this proposal has been shaped with the input from clubs of all sizes, big, small, and in between. We learned during our discussions that there is a great consistency in views around the issues facing the sport. Perhaps at the top of the list is a clear view that the existing European club competitions are not grabbing fans' attention. There are simply too many inconsequential matches where there is little interest. And you can see this in the viewing statistics. In fact, it is only in the final stage, in the spring, when interest peaks. Young fans who are digital natives with many entertainment options, in particular, are turning away. So we believe, and we've been told, that fresh thinking is needed. The cornerstone of our proposal remain the 10 principles which we published last February. Critically, a couple of those principles are worth repeating. Participation will be based on sporting merit, there will be no permanent members, and clubs will remain committed to their domestic leagues. So now, let's have a look at the proposed new format. An overview video will help explain both the men's and the women's competition.
A22 wants to create the world's most exciting club football competition. Our proposal aims to ensure competitive tension throughout the year. It's an open system featuring promotion and relegation and 2 stages, a league stage and a knockout stage. The European Men's Super League will have 64 participating clubs, divided into 3 leagues: Star, Gold and Blue. The Star League consists of 16 clubs divided into 2 groups of 8. It's the same for the Gold League, 16 clubs, 2 groups of 8. The Blue League will have 32 clubs split into 4 groups of 8. During the league stage, clubs play each other within their groups, home and away. That's 14 matches per club each season, 7 at home, 7 away. The top 4 clubs in each group of the Star and Gold Leagues and the top 2 clubs in each group of the Blue League will qualify for the knockout round, starting with the quarter-final. The quarter and semi-final consist of a 2-legged knockout round, home and away. The final will be played on neutral ground. The knockout round finals winners will be the Blue League, Gold League and Star League champions. Our proposal is built around sporting merit. Promotion, relegation and exit from the competition happen each season. The club finishing at the bottom of each group of the Star League will be relegated and replaced by the 2 Gold League finalists. The same system applies in the Gold League. The last club of each group will be relegated and replaced by Blue League finalists. In the Blue League, 20 out of the 32 clubs will leave the competition altogether and be replaced by clubs depending on their domestic league performance. This system ensures mobility within and across leagues. And as matches will be played midweek, this format is completely compatible with domestic leagues. This proposed format for football will guarantee openness, competitive tension, and success based on sporting merit. It is one competition for all clubs, all players, and all fans.
So, okay, it's open, it's competitive. I think that gives a quite good summary of what you're proposing for men. But what about the women's competition?
As you will see in the next video, the Women's League is very similar. But of course, it takes into consideration and it is adapted to the current stage of the development of the women's game. So let's have a look.
Our proposal will double the amount of showcased European women's football clubs and unite them into a single competition. The European Women's Super League boasts 32 clubs, divided into 2 leagues, Star and Gold. The Star League consists of 16 clubs divided into 2 groups of 8. It's the same for the Gold League, 16 clubs, 2 groups of 8. During the league stage, clubs play each other within their groups, home and away. That's 14 matches per club each season, 7 at home, 7 away. The top 4 clubs in each group of the Star and Gold Leagues will qualify for the knockout round, starting with the quarter-final. The quarter and semi-final consist of a 2-legged knockout round, home and away. The final will be played on neutral ground. The knockout round finals winners will be the Gold League and Star League champions. In the Star League, 2 clubs will be relegated and replaced by the 2 Gold League finalists. In the Gold League, 4 clubs will exit the competition and be replaced by other clubs depending on their domestic league performance. This system ensures mobility within and across leagues. And as matches will be played midweek, this format is completely compatible with domestic leagues. This proposed format will guarantee openness, competitive tension, and a new era for women's club football. It is one competition for all clubs, all players, and all fans.
Okay, so twice as many showcased women's clubs. That definitely struck me.
Yeah, let me add a few additional details. Football is the only truly global sport with fans in the billions around the globe. There is nothing like it. And Europe is the home of football. It's where the game was invented. And it's also the home of the leading clubs in the world. The challenge is, and working with clubs and others, whether the best sporting competition in the world can be created. We believe it can be. And that is the objective of this initiative.
And Bernd, how would the format serve that goal?
The format you've just seen would achieve many things. First, it will lead to fantastically exciting matches throughout the entire year, not just part of the year. A league system with just 14 matches means that absolutely every match counts. Clubs that almost never play each other will now compete regularly on the European stage and generating even a greater rivalry. At the same time, there is mobility between the leagues with promotion and relegation and with an ongoing strong connections to domestic leagues. And finally, there would be an incredible season-end knockout stage. We think this proposal is fan-centric, it's exciting, and it's capable of achieving what is, admittedly, a very ambitious goal.
Very well. You've also proposed a league structure as opposed to the current structure of the Champions League. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, in our discussion with clubs, we identified two big issues. The first issue was that clubs can perform extremely well at European level, yet still not be in the same competition in the subsequent year. This is viewed as unfair and not consistent with the concept of sporting merit. Second, clubs cannot make commitments to players, to infrastructure, to the women's games, and other expenditure just because under the current system, the vast majority of clubs cannot rely on income from Europe. Accordingly, they struggle to retain top players, they struggle to compete consistently at European level, and they struggle domestically where there are huge imbalances in the relative value of media rights between the large countries and the small countries in Europe. We think a league structure will go a long way towards solving those problems, while at the same time delivering opportunities for a higher level of football for players and for fans.
And can you also explain us how clubs get promoted into the Blue League?
The process of promoting is obviously a very critical element of the format. And at this point, more work and dialogue with clubs and league is necessary to work out on the precise details.
I understand you want to build this project together with clubs.
Absolutely. What we can say is that promotion should be equally open for all leagues, and it should be determined based upon clubs' domestic performance. So more on that to come, Roberta.
Fantastic then. And also in your opening remarks, you mentioned your proposal includes viewing all live matches for free. How would that work?
Well, fan access to the viewing of live football matches has become for some prohibitively expensive. We are leaving way too many fans behind. We want to change this. This is a unique opportunity to rethink how football is presented to the fans and connecting them with their favorite clubs and players just like never before.
What does never before means?
Well, A22 proposes to create Unify, a direct-to-fan streaming platform which would be the place that fans turn to enjoy their passion for football, to connect with their clubs and favorite players, to find the latest news, and most importantly, to view live matches for free. This concept applies equally to both the men's and the women's game, with the women's games and the women's matches given the same visibility and accessibility as the men's. This is a critical boost women's football needs to continue to grow and to develop. This next video will help explain what I mean.
In recent years, live football matches have been delivered to fans in the same way, mainly through pay TV subscriptions. This approach has allowed fans throughout the world to view matches in the comfort of their homes. However, technology has evolved and how we watch football at home needs to evolve as well. Digital platforms and social media have fundamentally altered the way we enjoy movies, series, and sport. At the same time, the cost of football has become too expensive for many fans and often 2 or 3 subscriptions are needed to see all matches. Football needs fresh thinking. It's time to bring all fans, billions of them, back to the game. Introducing Unify, our proposal to create a single direct-to-fan streaming platform offering all Super League matches and highlights for free. Supported by advertising, this platform will be available around the world and fans will enjoy the best football for free. Unify.
Well, that is a fantastic vision, though ambitious. I am sure many people are wondering, how can you do this?
Well, let's start with the technical aspect. If this were 10 or 15 years ago, it would be very challenging. But infrastructure and software needed for streaming at scale has developed enormously in recent years, and we have been in discussion with some of the leading technology suppliers in the world developing this proposal.
Okay, so let's go on the business side. How can you offer the best football for free?
Well, on the commercial side, the answer is straightforward. First, free football would bring billions of fans to Unify. For a streaming platform, this would be unprecedented. In the advertising world, which was my life for many, many years, the reach of Unify will be very attractive to advertisers. By the way, I should note, we are not doing anything which hasn't been done before in some way. Our proposal is following the lead of the best, smartest, most forward-looking companies in the entertainment world. And it's clear, it's absolutely clear where they are going. Those who began free, like Meta or Spotify, or in the US Hulu, now have pay options free of advertising. Those who began with only pay subscriptions, like Netflix and others, are now including ad-supported alternatives.
So one of the key aspects in the enormous reach is you expect the best football to have around the world.
Yeah, when you are able to connect billions of people, as Google does, as Meta does, and as Unify has the potential to do, you are convinced that the value will follow. And the key thing here is that all these companies are effectively streaming companies. This provides enormous flexibility, not only in offering both advertising and subscription-based options, but also the ability to provide new features and interactive options which are constantly evolving. And this will be great for fans. Finally, don't forget, and this is really important, Unify can count on the huge advantage, which is the best, the most compelling sport competition in the world. The best football clubs and the best football players, and the only sport that appeals to fans across all continents. On a different note, we clearly understand that this approach is new to football and it's new to clubs. They may want to know that it works financially before joining up, which makes sense. So we will have support which will provide a safety net guaranteeing revenues and solidarity payments during the first 3 years of the new competition at a level beyond that expected in the next cycle.
Okay, but would you do it all of this on your own, and who would own Unify?
Well, no, of course, we would not do this on our own. Existing broadcasting and distribution partners would continue to play a crucial role in many, many countries. And from an infrastructure perspective, partners and suppliers will be necessary to provide the technology needed to bring the live matches to fans. But again, this aspect of streaming has changed dramatically over the years, and there are many advanced providers for these kind of services. In terms of who will own Unify, it will be the participating clubs, in combination with valuated third-party investors who can help develop the platform and assist in managing the ongoing operations thereafter. It's also important to note that 100% of the Super League net income will be distributed each year to participating clubs.
Just one last question before we open for questions from the media. What happens now? What are your next steps?
Well, we will continue and expand our dialogue with the football stakeholders to explain and to further develop this proposal. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we do have the benefit of years of effort examining and analyzing the problems along with potential solutions. But in the end, this process will be led by clubs who, in the interest of their fans, their players and their leagues, will decide what makes sense for them.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Bernd. Now it's the time to answer some questions. And please notice that we cannot answer every question in this live stream, but our team will come back to every one of you with an answer. So I've got the first one, which is from Jamie Gardner from PA Media. You have won the right to compete, but how will you convince clubs to join? Can you announce who is on board?
Well, our proposal has to be convincing, and we invite clubs to shape and to help shape this proposal. And we want to reach as many as clubs as possible to shape and to contribute. There are clubs who are really interested in our proposal and to learn more and to contribute, but now dropping clubs would divide football. We don't want to divide football, we want to unite football, and everybody uses the opportunity of today's historic day to lead football into a new era.
Thank you. And the next one is from Nicolas Pelletier from RMC Sport. Are you reaching out your hand to UEFA today?
We reached out our hands to everybody in the football family. Actually, what we have done over the past 18 years have been a dialogue, conducting and embracing everybody who wants to discuss about the problems, discuss about potential solutions, and that included UEFA. I was actually traveling there last year, and I'm happy and open to do so again.
Well, that's fantastic. The next one is from David Alvarez from El País. In 2021, when the Super League was presented, it was financed by JP Morgan with 4,000 million euros for 23 years. How much does the project have right now? Who is financing it and under which conditions?
Well, now financing is probably more focused on Unify. We explained and shared our vision for a unique platform, a fan-centric streaming platform that brings together clubs and fans like it was never done before. And with reaching a number of billions of fans, unprecedented, also because it is a very attractive free offer to watch live matches. So it is investors will back us on the development and the launch and running this platform, and this is why we're currently reaching out to investors to safeguard this extremely fan-centric and positive, future-proof vision which we share.
Okay, thank you. The next one is from Giorgio Marotta from Core Sport. What could happen with players' registrations if the federations decide to take away the licensing from clubs participating in the Super League project?
That's a very interesting question, which will be discussed, and we are happy to discuss about that. Today is the moment of contrary, not licensing and confrontation and dividing. Today is the day where football had gained access to the values and the freedoms of the European Union. The judges of the ECJ gave football the freedom to determine their own football and empowered clubs to really take their own destiny in their hands. So if we succeed to promote the best idea and to promote the best proposed format, I think we can unite clubs and avoid confrontation, which is not our aim.
That's fantastic. So I've got another one from William Pereira from 20 Minutes. Your opponents see the Super League as the opponent of national leagues such as La Liga. How do you respond?
This initiative wants to strengthen clubs. It wants to empower them to determine their own destiny, but also strengthen them financially, allowing them to have a really strong financial column on the back of their European participation. If that strengthens a lot of clubs in domestic leagues as well, then it's positive. It should be positive, and it will be positive for domestic leagues as well.
Okay. I've got the last one from Ross Burgmeijer. Sorry for the pronunciation.
That's a German name.
Yeah, it's quite difficult for me, German. From Non-Sport. He says, if participation in the Super League is only guaranteed by financial means and not on sporting grounds, Isn't that the death knell for football? And do you expect resistance from non-participating clubs to the creation of the Super League?
Well, first of all, we couldn't be clearer about sporting merit as the essence of the whole proposal. It's open, it's meritocratic, it's accessible. The right to dream is alive as it probably has never been alive before. And non-participating clubs will access to transparently and third-party pledged and distributed participation in a solidarity pool, which will be 3 times higher than one who is currently distributed, but within the system. So solidarity, openness, and meritocracy are cornerstones of our proposal.
Well, thank you very much, Bernd. And this is it for the moment. Thank you all very much for being here. And, well, we're going to say goodbye soon. Do you want to add something at the end of this presentation?
What is really important is that today is the beginning of a new era. Today is a day where clubs can decide their own future. Our ambition is to empower clubs and to be at their service, to develop and to concrete on the proposal, and that every club and every football fan out there has the right to dream of the football of their dreams. So see you soon, and the football of your dreams.
Thanks.
De las 30 subvenciones nominativas que tiene el presupuesto, la única que se ha eliminado es la del Ateneo. La única, de 30 entidades. Dicen que quieren cambiar el modelo, pero el modelo no se cambia castigando a una institución. El modelo se cambia con planificación, con sentido, con racionalidad, no caprichosamente. Todas las instituciones, no es cierto lo que dice del diseño del Prado, tienen la partida asegurada inicialmente. ¿Y sabe lo que significa que una institución tenga que presentar un proyecto para que se lo pueda aprobar la consejería en el caso de las subvenciones nominativas? Control previo. Eso es censura. Y además, no solo es el Ateneo, es que se está mandando un mensaje amenazador al resto de entidades a la que se les está diciendo que cuidado con lo que hacen, porque si hacen lo que no les gusta a la señora Ayuso o a la Consejería de Cultura, se quedan sin financiación. Eso es disciplinamiento de la cultura y de los creadores. Y luego, respecto a las contradicciones, señor Corral, honestamente me temo que las van a tener que asumir muchos de su grupo, que estoy segura que se han tenido que comer un sapo muy grande con la retirada de la ayuda al Ateneo por el capricho revanchista de la señora Ayuso. Y por último, sobre lo de Pamplona, un dato. Gasto por habitante en cultura en Navarra, 74 euros. Gasto por habitante en Madrid, 23 euros. No tengo nada más que decir.
Gracias, señoría. Y para finalizar esta sección tiene la palabra el señor Corral.
Sí, muchísimas gracias, señor presidente. Miren, ¿saben lo triste, lo más triste de todo esto? Que salga alguien a la tribuna a defender las mismas posiciones que tenían ustedes hace muy pocos meses y encima nos echen la culpa. Qué triste es que ustedes compartieran con nosotros lo mismo que he dicho yo en esa tribuna y, en cambio, se molesten por ello. ¿Recuerdan aquello de con Bildu no voy a pactar, si quiere se lo digo 20 veces? Eso lo dijo el señor Pedro Sánchez. Solo faltaría, han sido muy amables, de que no nos hayan echado la culpa a nosotros de su pacto vergonzoso con Bildu. Y nuestro proyecto, creo que lo he explicado también, me ha dado bastante tiempo para explicar cuál es nuestro proyecto. Nuestro proyecto es la libertad, para bien y para mal.
Silencio, señorías.
¿No? Fíjese lo que le digo. Estoy diciendo para bien y para mal. Y en esto respondo también a la señora Velasco. No todos o no a todos nos puede parecer bien algún producto cultural, alguna obra de teatro, alguna película, pero lo que no vamos a hacer es, si no hay delito en ese contenido cultural, censurarlo. Ustedes han montado un circo con el tema de la censura del PP. Ustedes han montado un circo hablando de censura cuando era ajuste de programación. Y yo ya... Perdonen.
Dejen hablar al diputado.
Miren, se lo he dicho en comisión y lo voy a decir aquí con sumo placer. Si entramos por ese aro, la mayor censora que ha habido desde tiempos de Franco ha sido la izquierda.
Silencio, señorías.
20 obras de teatro censuradas de un plumazo por la señora Manuela Carmena con el apoyo del Partido Socialista, cancelando la programación de 2 temporadas del señor director del Teatro Español, el señor Juan Carlos Pérez de la Fuente, despedido ilegalmente después de haber sido elegido a través de un código de buenas prácticas. Si quieren, se lo vuelvo a repetir en el siguiente pleno. Si los ajustes de programación son censura, tienen ustedes el récord histórico de la democracia española y, desafortunadamente, en Madrid, con 20 obras de 30 autores. ¿Y dijeron ustedes algo? ¿Hubo alguna manifestación delante? Usted se abstuvo, señora Espinar. Usted fue muy valiente y se abstuvo. Entonces, no sigamos por ahí. Pero contesto, señora Velasco, miren, le tengo un enormísimo respeto y cariño. Cuando usted habla del tema de Alsaso en la comisión, debo confesarlo, y nos sucede a todo el Grupo Popular. Sí, se nos encoge el alma, cierto. Pero mire, es el precio también que hay que pagar porque Madrid sea hoy el baluarte de la libertad, frente a un proyecto absolutamente liberticida que estamos sufriendo los españoles, desafortunadamente. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, señoría. Pasamos a la sección número 7, es la sección de digitalización. Iniciamos el turno a favor de las enmiendas. Para la defensa de sus enmiendas tiene la palabra, en representación del Grupo Parlamentario Vox en Madrid, la señora González Moreno.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Buenos días, señorías. Adaptar la sociedad al cambio tecnológico y aprovechar las nuevas tecnologías como factor competitivo empresarial de productividad y de mejora del bienestar de la población de la región debe de ser objetivo de todos. Disponer de una infraestructura técnica de alta calidad, con una capacitación formativa profesional y una población altamente cualificada en lo digital es una buena manera de ejecutar el presupuesto de la sección de digitalización. Pero también debemos de ser realistas y críticos con la situación real, actual y futura de la Comunidad de Madrid y de España. Será necesario gastar en seguridad y en el buen gobierno de los datos que protejan a los madrileños y a su privacidad. Tratar la información personal y sensible con extrema precaución para que el ciudadano pueda tener la confianza de que la información se maneja de manera ética y transparente. Lo será también la simplicidad de acceso a las aplicaciones y plataformas que constituyen el tejido digital que ofrece la Comunidad de Madrid. No puede ser que las personas se encuentren con tanta dificultad que terminen por desistir en el intento de acceder a un servicio. En Vox queremos poner la máxima atención en los ciudadanos para que disfruten todos de los mismos servicios. Por eso queremos dar prioridad a las zonas rurales, a las personas mayores y también a nuestros jóvenes y menores. Abordar la implementación de planes para mejorar el acceso a Internet en los pequeños municipios, pues qué duda cabe que no solo es necesario para contar con servicios esenciales, sino también para cuidar del bienestar emocional de las personas y garantizar la igualdad de oportunidades. Que la digitalización sea para todos, incluidos aquellos municipios de menos de 20.000 habitantes, y que con independencia de dónde se viva, esté garantizado el acceso a los servicios administrativos digitales. Las personas de edad avanzada, aquellas que forjaron España alejadas de la tecnología, deben de ser prioridad absoluta. Nuestros mayores, y más si residen en zonas rurales, corren el riesgo de quedar excluidos socialmente como consecuencia de su especial relación con Internet. Y habrá que tener en cuenta tanto al que no tiene interés en este sector como al que, teniéndolo, necesita compatibilizar los avances tecnológicos con un trato personal y cercano. Los programas de alfabetización digital y tecnológica, el desarrollo de cursos formativos especialmente dirigidos a los mayores, cuyo contenido verse sobre el uso básico y práctico de las tecnologías digitales, así como la prevención de los posibles riesgos que puede conllevar el uso de estas, como estafas, ciberdelincuencia, adicciones, intromisiones ilegítimas en la privacidad e intimidad o robo de datos. También resulta fundamental poder garantizarles el derecho básico y esencial a los servicios bancarios. Por ello, este grupo parlamentario apuesta por la necesidad de revisar los acuerdos y compromisos ya existentes con las entidades financieras, ampliar y promover la presencia física en las oficinas bancarias y revisar el convenio para la prestación del servicio en la oficina móvil bancaria en distintos municipios de la Comunidad de Madrid. Y en un afán de garantizar el uso adecuado de Internet por parte de nuestros menores y adolescentes, no debemos olvidarnos de ese fenómeno de crecimiento descontrolado en los últimos tiempos, como es el acceso a contenidos pornográficos en la red. Nuestro grupo parlamentario ya introdujo una iniciativa para limitar el acceso a la pornografía, iniciativa rechazada por todos los grupos de esta Cámara. Pero las gravísimas consecuencias de este daño, que amenaza con convertirse en un problema de salud pública, hace que tengamos la obligación de reconsiderar diversos aspectos. La multiplicación de contenidos pornográficos en la red, el uso de los teléfonos móviles a edades cada vez más tempranas, la accesibilidad a un clic, el anonimato o el uso extendido de tablets en el ámbito escolar favorecen este problema. En definitiva, quisiéramos que el presupuesto se focalice en atender a las personas, garantizando la igualdad de acceso y aprovechamiento de la digitalización, simplificando las formas de uso y autenticación de los usuarios y siendo garantes de la privacidad de sus datos. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Gracias, señoría. A continuación, en representación del Grupo Socialista, tiene la palabra el señor Cepeda.
Muchas gracias, presidente. Señorías, abordamos la sección 7 del presupuesto, de un presupuesto sin lugar a dudas que luego mencionaré en la carga de la libertad que algunos mencionan hoy, ¿no? Pero es verdad que la sección 7 para nosotros es notablemente mejorable. Han puesto encima de la mesa un presupuesto en torno a una nueva consejería que, tiene un presupuesto interesante, pero quiero dejar encima de la mesa que conlleva una serie de incrementos por parte de los tan traídos y llevados y, por cierto, criticados aquí en esta Cámara MMR, los fondos de resiliencia, fondos que vienen de proyectos del presupuesto del Gobierno de España y que vienen a incrementar de una forma muy importante la Agencia, por ejemplo, de Madrid Digital, que tiene un presupuesto de 407 millones de euros, 70,5 son del Gobierno de España. La Dirección General de Estrategia Digital, 105 millones de euros, de los cuales 87 millones vienen de los fondos del Gobierno de España. En definitiva, nosotros hemos hecho una serie de enmiendas a este presupuesto, en concreto a esta sección, porque nos parece que la digitalización tiene que ser muchísimo más amplia y tiene que abarcar fundamentalmente a las corporaciones locales. En concreto, hemos puesto encima de la mesa dos enmiendas, dos proyectos muy interesantes. Uno del plan de banda ancha para Alcalá de Henares, que nos parece que también es muy importante que se pueda desarrollar y que ha sido además una propuesta del Grupo Socialista también en esta ciudad. Y otro de digitalización de servicios públicos por parte del Ayuntamiento de Fuenlabrada. Y nos parece que también es muy importante que esto finalmente se pueda desarrollar en ese modelo integral digitalizado que el Ayuntamiento de Fuenlabrada propone. Nosotros creemos que, bueno, es un presupuesto nuevo porque es una consejería nueva, pero es verdad que hay algunas cosas que llaman excesivamente la atención. Hay algunas cuestiones que vienen de proyectos anteriores, como todo el modelo de clúster en torno al blockchain, inteligencia artificial, Internet de las cosas, transformación digital, pero curiosamente que solamente están dotados con 300.000 euros. En fin, es algo bastante irrisorio, ¿no? Y nos falta, por ejemplo, el desarrollar políticas orientadas a la computación cuántica. ¿Esto es el futuro, podríamos decir? No, es el presente, prácticamente en toda Europa. Y esto no existe. Por lo tanto, dotar presupuestariamente con más recursos a las áreas de trabajo que se están implementando en toda Europa y que Madrid también, si quiere sumarse a ese carro, deberían de desarrollar. A las corporaciones locales nos parece que tienen que tener un mayor apoyo por parte de la Comunidad de Madrid. Y luego hay un tercer bloque de nuestras enmiendas que están dirigidas fundamentalmente a intentar evitar algo que nos parece esencial en un modelo de gestión eficaz de las administraciones públicas, y es no coger presupuesto para luego externalizar servicios permanentemente. Es decir, ¿tenemos o no tenemos infraestructuras, tenemos o no tenemos personal, trabajadores de la Administración autonómica que pueden o no pueden desarrollar algunos servicios de digitalización? Pues claro que sí. Pues ¿por qué estamos permanentemente utilizando buena parte de los presupuestos a externalizar